Yavapai Broadcasting and the City of Cottonwood proudly present Inside Cottonwood, an inside look at the decisions and issues of the City of Cottonwood. Brought to you by Arizona Smile Designers.
Behind walking and resistance training, swimming is the third most popular sports activity in America. Swimming is an activity that can be enjoyed by people of all ages, physical fitness levels, and body types. Swimming can be done for fitness, recreation, and fun. Most people have access to a pool through a local YMCA, a Parks and Recreation program, or a neighborhood facility. Swimming provides lifetime benefits for cardiovascular health, and it can be done at any age or stage in life, with a few modifications. Good afternoon and welcome to Inside Cottonwood Parks and Recreation Edition. My name is Jason Little, Recreation Manager with the City of Cottonwood. And with me today, I have Christine Solis, the Cottonwood Clippers Board President. Is that correct?
Correct.
Christine, I can't thank you enough for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, the reason I wanted to have Christine on the show today is one, this is a program that a lot of people are familiar with, but they don't realize how popular it is in this community. These kids, I can attest to it, they are out there every morning at 6 o'clock. We're going to get into the schedule here in a little bit, and then they swim till 7, not in duration, but they're there for a couple hours in the morning and a couple of hours in the early evening. And that's what we would like to discuss today is the Clippers program. Christine, but before we get started, I always like to put people in the hot seat. And unfortunately, there's only one of you here today. Okay. So if you could, maybe just give us a little background, maybe where you grew up, how long you lived in the area, family, anything you'd like to share with the group.
Well, I actually grew up here in Cottonwood. I went to Cottonwood School. I went to Mingus and graduated from Mingus. I moved away in 1982 and came back with my family in 2000. I've been married for 21 years and I have 3 children, and it's actually my 3 children that got involved with the Clippers in 2004.
That's fantastic. I've been in and around the aquatics facility for 14 years now, and I've saw Christine around, I don't know necessarily, and I know the audience doesn't either, what capacities have you served in?
Well, when I started in 2004, my kids were 7, 9, and 11. And I was just a parent trying to learn the system, learn what swimming was all about. We had never done competitive swimming. And in about 2007, they asked me to start coming to board meetings, and I started coming to the board meetings, and they asked me if I wanted to be the treasurer. So I was the treasurer of the club for about 4 years. And then I'm currently the president.
That's fantastic. So who was the president prior to you taking over?
Nancy Futra was the president prior to my position.
And I think she was involved for a number of years too.
She was involved for, I believe, over 25 years.
Now, I don't want to mess this up because I just did with the Parks and Recreation Commissioners on my last segment, but a lot of volunteers go unnoticed. Who are some of the other people who volunteer on your board?
Oh gosh, we have lots of volunteers. Our board, well, I have a board of officers. I have a vice president by the name of Beth Fangman, who does an awesome job for me. I'm sorry, my vice president is Robin Warner, who does a great job for me. And my secretary, Christy Delaney, does an awful lot of paperwork behind the scenes. And then my treasurer does an awesome job, Beth Fangman. We also have a lot of the parents that come in. The Clippers is actually a parent-run team. It's a recreational team, and it's run by all the parents.
What I found truly unique, just because I do interact with them on certain levels, is a lot of organizations, they meet and there's a flurry of activity during the season, but once that last day hits, they typically close their doors till it's time to gear up for next year. It's not the case with the Clippers. I remember going to a meeting in August, and correct me if I'm wrong, but you guys meet probably monthly, even in the off season?
We do. We continue to meet monthly in the off season. Once the season starts, we meet bi-monthly, sometimes weekly, as we get closer to the end of the season.
Okay, you've mentioned it once. Everyone is volunteer, and I know the coaches used to be. Who currently coaches your team?
We have 5 coaches. My head coach is Daniel Navarez. He swam with the Clippers for 3 years, and he swam with Mingus for 3 years. And he was a part-time coach for me. Well, I wasn't the president then, but a few years ago. And we invited him back to be our head coach this year. I have 3 young ladies coaching for me, Kyla Fury, Sarah Raber, Allie, Doris, and Jamie Adams. They have all swam with the Clippers as well. We really enjoy bringing our swimmers in to be coaches.
Now, is it a competitive process? Because, I mean, we'll get to the sheer numbers that you have, who you guys deal with as far as the kids, but do you have to interview the coaches, or how does that work?
We actually, it is kind of competitive. Everybody wants to coach. In the past, the coaches did not get paid. It was a volunteer position many years ago. Not sure when they started paying the coaches, but everybody wants to be a paid coach, and everybody enjoys coaching the children. So, 3 of the coaches that I have this year are actually returning from past years, and we try to keep our coaches as long as we can. They go away to college, and then they come back and say, well, I can't coach this year. So we have to go into the Mingus swimmers and ask them who might want to coach for us.
That's what I call a retention at its finest right there.
Absolutely.
That's fantastic.
Absolutely. We hate to lose our coaches.
Yeah. So I'm not purporting false information. I brought it up earlier, and I know I probably had it wrong. Tell the audience, if you can, just give them a little insight as to when the team practices and how often.
The team practices every day through the summer. Our season, for me, actually starts April 26th this year. It's usually the last Thursday in April. We register the last Thursday in April, and then we start swimming in May. They swim every day except for the days that the pool is closed for maintenance. And if it's raining or thundering or whatever, we don't have practice. There's a couple of practices that we miss because we go out of town. But the older kids, what we call the A-team, swims every morning from 6:15 to 8. They do what we call dry land workouts sometimes, I think two days a week. And then our younger kids, which is our A prep team, our B team, and our C team, practice every evening from 6:15 to 8.
Wow, that's phenomenal. I swim recreationally. I mean, I go out and if I do 50 laps for workout, I'm spent. Can you give the audience any insight as to what these kids swim, the A-team, in their practices?
The A-team, I can tell you, probably swims what we call a 3,000. They do repetitive swimming of particular strokes. They do just leg work. They do just arm work. And then they just try to brush up on their strokes to see, the coaches will tell them, well, you have to change this in this stroke or that in the other stroke. And so they work on their strokes to make it more competitive.
That's amazing. So you mean to tell me that they're swimming almost literally 2 miles a day?
Absolutely.
Wow, that's something else. I know this isn't on here, and you haven't discussed it prior to this, but what about the other teams? I got to ask that real quick. The other summer teams, like from King, do they swim as much as the Clippers? Or?
Some of the teams are actually year-round. Kingman swims year-round. Sedona has a small year-round swim team. I don't believe Payson and Prescott Valley swim year-round, but we do go to compete in Payson. We go to Prescott Valley. We compete in Sedona, and a week and a half ago we went to Kingman.
That's fantastic, and we're going to get into that later. Don't just give you guys a little taste of what's to come. But when does your season start and end?
Well, the season actually starts this year. We started May 21st, 2 weeks into May, and then we end with our final meet of the season the last Saturday in July.
Wow, and that's the biggie that we're going to talk about here in a little bit as well. So that's 5 days a week, starting the end of May through July.
Yes.
That's quite the schedule. We get questions sometimes in the recreation center, and just for the audience, I mean, someone might watch this show, and I know it's probably too late in the season to join now because, of course, the season's almost over. But can you join at any time, or do you have to join at the beginning of the season?
No, you do not have to join at the beginning of the season. We have had people join. Just last week, as a matter of fact, we had a little boy join. And people come from out of town that they're visiting for the summer, or they actually move, and they ask if it's too late to join the team, and they've been competing somewhere else. So we do allow them to join the team if they've already had swimming experience. If they're just absolute beginners, then it is a little tough for them to start in the middle of the season.
We might briefly touch up on the rates, but for someone like that who came in, let's say July 1st, would they get a sliding scale?
They would pay half the rate.
Okay, that's great to know. Okay, leading us into our first break, do you have a telephone number or a website that maybe someone can contact if they wanted additional information pertaining to signing their kids up or information for next year that you could give out to the audience?
I do. We do have a website that we have one of our parents working very diligently on, and it's www.cottonwoodclippers.webs.com. And they can also reach me, and my phone number is in there as well. It's 634-1960.
There you guys have it, 634-1964?
960.
1960. Christine Solis, Board President, Cottonwood Clippers. We'll be back in a few.
Meet the team at Arizona Smile Designers, offering complete, comprehensive, restorative, and aesthetic dentistry. Dr. Vergara and Dr. Lord specialize in dental health, implants, and cosmetic dental procedures. Expert staff and state-of-the-art equipment bring forth the most from your smile. Dr. Ripplinger conveniently comes to Arizona Smile Designers for oral surgery and complicated procedures. Visit Arizona Smile Designers at 350 South Willard in Cottonwood. Insurance and new patients are welcome. Call 634-8610.
Thousands of fires across the United States are caused by careless people. Hi, I'm Fire Marshal Rick Contreras with the Cottonwood Fire Department. The major threat of human-caused fires are from burning debris that get out of control or improperly extinguished or unattended campfires. Remember that fireworks have no place on our wildlands. Become part of the solution. Learn more about proper fire safety by contacting the local fire department.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood. Jason Little here, Recreation Manager for the City of Cottonwood. And with me today I have Christine Solis, the Board President for the Cottonwood Clippers. Christine, it's hot outside. Kids are always looking for something to do in the summer, and you know what? This is an opportunity that I think a lot more people should be taking advantage of. We talked about sign-ups. You said they usually start the end of May, which probably coincides with school getting out, I'm sure.
Yes.
And then you guys roll through the whole summer. For that much swim time, because if you broke it down by the hour, what do these kids essentially, what do you guys charge for the whole season?
Our fee for the entire season is $130, and registration is usually the last Thursday in May, and if they come on registration day, they get a $10 break. Their second child is $110, and their third child is $100. And again, there is a $10 break for each one if they come on registration day.
That's phenomenal. So you're looking at 11 weeks of swimming, roughly 2 hours a day in the pool. So I mean, it breaks down to this cents on the hour.
Absolutely.
I mean that's such a great deal. Sorry to get off on that tangent. I was just doing the math, and that's pretty phenomenal. You were mentioning briefly that you guys attend other meets and that you guys have a large event coming up. What is that event?
Our Verde Valley Invitational. It is the culmination of the Cottonwood Clippers season. This is something that all of our swim team look forward to. This year we have 6 teams coming, and it's the same teams that most of the same teams we go swim for. Sedona, Payson, Prescott Valley, Bullhead City, Needles, and Kingman.
Sorry, I'm just writing that down. So you guys will typically go to their venues as well?
We go to Kingman. We've gone to Prescott Valley. We will be going to Payson in a couple weeks, and we go to Sedona. This year we only had 5 meets to go to.
That's phenomenal. Now, I am familiar with some of the other facilities you just mentioned, but how do they accommodate, or do they not get the number of teams you guys have for your meet? Because some of their facilities are a lot smaller than ours. So how can do they still have the same teams come to theirs too?
No. Sedona had only 5 teams, and I think they had a team from Flagstaff. Kingman also only had 5 teams swim. In the time that I've been with the Clippers, I think they've always had like 6 or 7 teams. We've kind of changed a few here and there, but they seem to get bigger each year.
That's amazing. I'm sorry, I just got this picture in my head of the Marauder Caravan just heading up to Kingman. You guys are buying out an entire hotel. I mean, spending a lot of money. Yeah, that's pretty neat. an event like the Verde Valley Invitational that you're talking about, how many years has this been going on, the Verde Valley Invitational?
This is our 30th year. We were able to celebrate 30 years last year at our meet, and we made it a big meet. So this is our 31st year of having the Verde Valley Invitational, and again, it's just something big that everybody looks forward to at the end of the season.
For an event of that magnitude, how many people will swim?
Last year we had 285 swimmers. And so anywhere from, I would say, 250 to 300 swimmers come to our meet.
That's amazing. So I'm unfamiliar with how this works. Do you pay for each event you're in, or how do you divide it all out? I mean, if you're bringing 100 people down, you probably want to swim in more than one event. So
Yes.
Can you sign up for multiple events, or do you?
What our meet does is we allow them to come in and swim for 3 events in their age group, and it's broken down to by age group. So they're allowed to swim in 3 events, plus any relays that their coach may put them into.
Okay, I'm jumping around here a little bit on you, but what are those 3 events that you can swim in?
We have what's called the medley, individual medley, the IM, which is you do all 4 strokes, the backstroke, the breaststroke, the freestyle, and the butterfly. And then they also have those strokes individually, a backstroke race, a breaststroke race, a freestyle race, and a butterfly.
That's phenomenal. So if you have 285 kids, I mean, that's 570 parents plus the 285 kids. How many people come to these events?
You know, that's a good question. I know that last year we had quite a few people. They bring their pop-ups, and they were outside the pool area. Some were inside the pool area, and they just find a spot where they can sit.
Okay. What event does the kids on your team enjoy the most?
Oh gosh.
Where do you guys like to go? What's the favorite?
I think Payson.
They like
I think
Payson a
Payson
lot.
is the funnest meet. All the smaller swimmers enjoy that meet. Sometimes as their ribbon at the end of their race, they get an otter pop instead of a ribbon, but every swimmer gets a ribbon or a prize at Payson. So I think that's the funnest meet that we go to.
That's amazing. Okay, so if you have all these people showing up, I'm sure space is limited. How do you guys deal with parking?
Well, we asked them to park on the north side of the parking lot. We've been asked to separate a little bit of the parking for the rec center, and we have parents that will be out there kind of moving people around, telling them where they can park and letting them in to unload. And they're allowed to park in the north parking lot of the rec center, the county building, and across the street at CMS if we get that many cars.
And for those in the audience who might have saw the paper on Sunday, we also we are putting ads in the paper just to remind you guys of that if you do show up on that Saturday, because it's a pretty congested area. You got the library right there, you got the rec center patrons and everyone here. So as Christine mentioned, please take advantage of all the other parking out there just to save yourself a little time and a little hassle. We'd appreciate it. Are there costs for spectators?
No, they can come in for free.
That's amazing. I'm surprised. I didn't know that. That's really interesting. And I understand that you guys are going to do a little remodeling before the event. What's going on?
Well, we're going to put a gate on the north side to make access a little bit better. We actually are going to have a banner made too, inviting all the swimmers to our Verde Valley Invitational. That way the people that are coming in can come in a little bit easier than coming down that hall that's in
very small
the rec center or the pool.
Yeah. And I also understand that you and Matthias have a new idea this year, which I thought was amazing. You guys are going to peel back the fence.
Oh, yes, yes. That was kind of amazing to me when he came up with that idea. Yavapai Fence has, he asked them if they would roll back the fence behind the dive blocks so that some of our spectators who sit back there can watch from there underneath the trees.
Amazing. And I know you've told the audience once, but can you let them know again when the event's happening and the times?
Oh, yes. The Verde Valley Invitational is July 28th. It starts at 8 a.m. Warm-ups will probably start at 6:30. And depending on the weather, the rain, if the rain comes or we start to get thunderstorms or whatever, which we always have to watch out for, it goes till about 2 or 3 in the afternoon.
That's fantastic. If you guys don't have anything planned for July 28th, come on down to the Cottonwood Aquatic Center and check out the Clippers. Hopefully bring home some more hardware. That's going to be starting at 8 a.m. ending typically around 3. no charge to get in. So come and support your fellow kids that live in the community. And if you'd like any other additional information as it pertains to the Clippers, you can call Christine. And what's that number again, Christine?
634-1960.
Or you can reach them via web at cottonwoodclippers.webs.com. We'll see you after the break.
Meet the team at Arizona Smile Designers, offering complete comprehensive, restorative, and aesthetic dentistry. Dr. Vergara and Dr. Lord specialize in dental health, implants, and cosmetic dental procedures. Expert staff and state-of-the-art equipment bring forth the most from your smile. Dr. Ripplinger conveniently comes to Arizona Smile Designers for oral surgery and complicated procedures. Visit Arizona Smile Designers at 350 South Willard in Cottonwood. Insurance and new patients are welcome. Call 634-8610.
Thousands of fires across the United States are caused by careless people. Hi, I'm Fire Marshal Rick Contreras with the Cottonwood Fire Department. The major threat of human-caused fires are from burning debris that get out of control or improperly extinguished or unattended campfires. Remember that fireworks have no place on our wildlands. Become part of the solution. Learn more about proper fire safety by contacting the local fire department.
Welcome back to Inside Cottonwood, the show that keeps you in the know of everything happening here in the Verde Valley. Today with me, I have Christine Solis, the board president for the Cottonwood Clippers, and we're talking about the upcoming Verde Valley Invitational and other information that she's been sharing with us about the Cottonwood Clippers organization. Christine, when everyone comes to this event, I'm sure they come hungry.
We have a great concession stand. We've had that concession stand for so many years. I have an awesome parent right now by the name of Terry Adams that's working my concession stand this year, and I know he's going to have some bagels and cream cheese, coffee, first thing in the morning for those people who have to get up so bright and early. And about 10, you start to smell the grill going, and they cook up some pretty good hamburgers and hot dogs.
That's great. And you said the event ends at 3 o'clock, so I'm assuming, like you said, they have bagels for breakfast and then hamburgers, hot dogs for lunch?
Yes, and lots of ice cold water.
That's great, and I'm sure they need it for that day. I'm sure it's very warm out there, that's for sure. Let's talk about awards. You briefly mentioned Payson. What kind of awards do you guys give to your winners and or just participants?
Well, at our meet, we give ribbons for the first 8 high times, or the fastest times. The first 3 get medals, and then 4 through 8 will get a ribbon. Then at the end of the meet, we give what we call high point trophies. And the swimmer that has the highest points from their 3 races that they were in, say they all got, one swimmer gets all first places, they get a high point trophy. The swimmers earn points for each of their teams depending on where they swam. If they were first, second, third, their team earns a specific number of points towards those high point trophies.
So how many high point trophies have you guys brought home this year so far?
Oh gosh, in Keekman we brought home 5 high point trophies.
Did you really?
We had 3 first places and a second place and a third place.
That is phenomenal.
We brought the 3rd place trophy home for our team.
Well, I know the Clippers organization has been highly instrumental in a number of additions to the pool area, outside of the pool and inside the pool. When you tell us a little bit about the scoreboard, the history behind it, and how you guys made that happen?
Well, when I started swimming, when my kids started swimming in '04, I think they had already started talking about it and planning for it. When I became the treasurer, I know that they had saved a good sum of money, about $20,000 towards that. That's a big expense for the team, and so they had saved the money. And then, you know, we kind of rallied with some businesses, and Verde Valley Medical Center made a donation towards the scoreboard. And Mingus made a donation as well so that we could get those final dollars to actually purchase the scoreboard and the entire system that goes with it.
And what does that include? Touch pads?
Yes, we do have touch pads now. The swimmers have to come in and really hit that touch pad hard, and it stops the time in their lane, and it reads up on the scoreboard. It's a beautiful scoreboard.
That's what I was going to ask you. You said you've been involved since 2004?
Yes.
I'm sure you've saw a lot of controversy over, close finishes and things like that, so that really just mitigates that from happening.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah.
And if they have to, they'll go back, and there is also 2 timers at the end. So if we have to, we'll check the 2 stopwatches.
Amazing. So you guys, essentially there's 3 people keeping time. You get the touchpads and 2 people on each lane.
4 people.
4 people.
There's also what we call a plunger that has to be pushed at the end of the race as well.
Wow, that's amazing. As with any other club or any organization, I'm sure there's a tremendous amount of fundraising that goes into keeping this club viable and operating at the level it is. I mean, as a treasurer, you probably know the intricate details more than anyone.
Well, when I first started, they only had one fundraiser. They had what they call the Mile Swim fundraiser that they did each season. When I became the president a few years ago, we kind of started to put in some other fundraising throughout the summer, trying not to make it too much because it's a short season to have too many fundraisers. But our main fundraiser is still the Mile Swim, where the swimmers will swim a mile in the pool, which is 72 laps, and they get pledges as to whether they're going to finish that mile.
Really? So what's the largest pledge amount you've ever saw brought in by one swimmer?
Well, we give prizes for swimmers that do.
Great idea.
The first, second, and third swimmers to bring in the largest amount of money will get prizes, and they vary from year to year, but I think our highest amount from one of our swimmers was about $500.
That's very good. Well, this really piques my interest, something you just mentioned. What is the Mile Swim, and who can participate?
Well, our swimmers have been participating for the past year, and we break it down in the teams, and they come in and they sit down, and we have our clipboard, and we mark off as they swim their laps. And again, it's 72 laps back and forth in the pool without stopping. In the past, it has only been the swimmers that are allowed to participate, but this year we thought we'd try something new and open it up to any adult swimmer that would like to come and participate.
That's fantastic. As far as organizational logistics, if I'm interested, are you going to just set specific times for the general public to come over and swim their laps, or how will that work?
Well, our Mile Swim is being held on the 17th, 18th, and 19th during both morning practice and evening practice. And whoever contacts me, I believe we put some flyers in the rec center. If they contact me, yes, I will tell them what time is best for them to show up to swim their mile.
Boy, that really accommodates a lot of people's schedule. I mean, that 6:15 slot in the morning, I mean, that's a great idea on your guys' part.
Sure.
So you also, then you're keeping tabs of when people are coming, so you have lane availability, and if I'm pressed for time, I'm not going to show up and not get a lane, because hopefully I've talked with you and
Exactly.
set it up.
If we've set it up and they show an interest, and it is $25 for an adult or a parent, whoever wants to come and swim, to swim. And for that $25, they also get one of our Mile Swim t-shirts that we create each year for the Mile Swim.
We should have had you bring one.
It
It's
won't be
not done yet?
created until after the season.
Oh, okay, I got you. Christina, we are slowly starting to run out of time here. We got about 2 minutes left, and we could talk about this for a lot longer, but I know you guys, because I walk over to the pool every day, you guys have so many sponsors. Are there any sponsors you'd like to mention, or how maybe someone could become a sponsor and get their, because that's visibility, and get their banner up on the fence out there?
We started the sponsorship program last year, as a matter of fact, and came up with the idea of having going to companies, we asked the swimmers to do that and asked them if they wanted to be a sponsor. And to be a sponsor, you can put your banner on the wall, on the fence at the pool, and we also put your business on our website for the entire year. We also will put a business card ad in our program that we offer at the Verde Valley Invitational.
That's fantastic. What would be the cost for a business?
To be a full sponsor, it's $250, and again, that allows you the banner on the fence, the website, and the program.
All right, Christine, we're down to our last minute here. Let's just say I was a swimming enthusiast in the past, and I really like watching swimming. It takes a lot of hands to put on an event like that. Can I just come out, show up, and volunteer for something, or do I need to coordinate it with you?
Oh gosh, we always look for volunteers. Well, I do have a coordinator by the name of Marianne Mount. She's my Verde Valley Invitational Coordinator, and I believe her email is on the website if you go to contacts, but they can also call me and I will put them in touch with Marianne.
Okay. Well, Christine, it was my pleasure having you here today, and very informative for me. I'm sure it was for everyone out there watching the show. Just as we go ahead and end the show, I'd like to give you the phone number for Christine one more time, and that is 634-1960, or please check out their website. It's cottonwoodclippers.webs.com. Once again, Christine, thank you, and thank you guys.